There was just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of the land we have recorded this podcast on, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures.
Hello and welcome to Cancelled, the podcast that looks at silly, celebrity or royal crimes and assigns charges and sentences to them so we can all move on with our lives. I'm Claire Stevens.
And I'm Jessie Stevens.
And before we get into today's episode, Jessie, we recently asked our listeners to share their lazy girl stories.
I want the top of every show to just be a lazy girl story.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl.
Just a moment for the lazy girl.
Just a moment. I'm going to think of some of mine. I mean, I've shared some of them, but the cancelled listeners are outdoing us.
They are. Because the thing about lazy girls, they never really get their moment in the sunshine.
No, because normally they don't show up. Well, you and I have a fear of sleeping in, not because we're going to miss the bus, but because we're going to miss a day at work. And
Like
that
the whole
day. Because it's really shameful to be like, oh, I slept in. And people are like, oh, were you late? And it's like, no, I arrived at work at 3. And people thought I died and they called my in case of emergency. And that's really worrying. I slept in once and it wasn't, I think my alarm went off late or something. Anyway, I didn't get to work until midday. And I think I'd missed an out loud record. And I was like, I don't know how to explain what happened. But what happened is my secret shame on Saturdays and Sundays did affect my Wednesday. All right? And it turns out I can sleep indefinitely. Lazy girl. She's a lazy girl.
Yeah. We are lazy girls,
Yep.
as has been previously established, which you would know if you followed us on Instagram at @the_twins_thoughts and saw our chaotic posting schedule.
Yeah, sporadic. Very sporadic. People say they love it.
Yeah.
They say it's always a surprise.
They say
Will they,
don't
won't they
take-
post? We overpromise, we underdeliver. We say, oh, we'll post this TikTok. Or we forget.
But we may.
We
And
may.
that's what
And you
keeps
know what?
coming
If you
back.
want it, then remind me.
Yeah.
Because I forgot.
But I'm just going to share one of my favourite lazy girl submissions so far. This is a brief one, which is peak lazy girl.
She started typing and was like, I
She's
can't
like,
be bothered.
Jesus, I don't need to write an essay. Didn't want to get out of bed and go to work. Hard relate. Called up and quit. Called up and quit. Then went right back to sleep.
Lazy girl. She's a lazy girl.
I just, like, so true. It's like, I'm not just calling in sick. I'm throwing in the towel entirely. I don't have time.
The lack of anxiety or panic and just being like, I'm unemployed. I'm going back to sleep.
But I also like that going back to sleep would have been the best sleep of our life. Anyway, that has nothing to do with our topic for today's episode, which is Prince William, aka Willy. We obviously recently did our two-parter on Prince Harry, and it was only fair to have a look at his older brother, given that he is the future King of England, and he is balding in a way that his brother says is alarming.
Which continues to be our favourite sibling insult.
It is alarming.
It's just, yeah, like, I don't know, if you turn up and you kind of haven't washed your hair in a few days, it's not just like ugly and gross, it's alarming. And everyone's thinking it.
So aggressive. William Arthur Philip Lewis, or Louis, you never know. I think it's Louis.
I think it's Louis, yeah. And I think we do know. I think a Wikipedia would tell us the pronunciation, but
We ain't,
lazy
got
girls.
we ain't got time for that. The Prince of Wales is the heir apparent to the British throne. He is married to Kate Middleton. They have 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince
Little
Louis. A YouGov poll at the end of last year found that William was the most popular member of the royal family. And
Why do you think that is?
Okay, no, I thought about it for a second and I realised there is not a lot of competition. Is someone going to say Prince Andrew?
Okay, so Andrew's out, Queen's dead, Philip's dead. Charles, as previously discussed, is handstanding on walls and releasing the gardens of Cornwall.
He's
Boring.
also cranky and he married another woman despite always being in love with Cam. People hold that against him.
And Cam just seems a bit, I mean, I don't want to use the word conniving, but her brunches with bloody Piers Morgan aren't doing her any favours.
No.
Who's left? How about the ones with the hats? Beatrice and Eugenie. Do they even count?
Well,
I don't think people are indifferent.
No, I guess, well, that's what I mean about there not being that much choice. It's kind of
prefer
Willy.
Charlotte to Willy.
Oh, God, yes.
All right.
Charlotte and... I don't want to rank the children. That feels
We draw
wrong.
the line at ranking the children.
No. But generally, William is very well liked, as is Kate. And as is always the case when we cover royals on Cancelled, we need a disclaimer.
Are we going to say the stuff about colonisation bad, royal family bad, but we're just here for the gossip? Is that kind of along the lines of...
Yes.
Okay.
Australia probably needs to become a republic,
Probably.
but we, in this moment, urgently need to talk about pegging.
Because do we need to talk about pegging is on the agenda.
Yeah.
But just in terms of the monarchy, and this is what we always say, court over here, real crimes.
Mhm.
And that monarchy has committed some real crimes
They
to First
established-
Nations people.
They established the slave trade.
Yeah. And that is above our pay grade.
Mhm.
That's why we got to get to the pegging.
Yes. The structure for today's episode is as follows. Waiting too long to propose. Allegedly, and we have to say allegedly, the affair and pegging, being a mean brother, and being a cranky boy.
Okay.
Waiting too long to propose. Jesse, something Prince William is very well known for is how long it took him to propose to his now wife and the mother of his 3 children, Kate Middleton. How long do you think they were together for before they got married?
8.
Correct. It was 8
Oh.
years. On and off, but 8 years.
And they met young, right? They met at uni?
Yeah. I think they may have even met as like children and then met again as teenagers, and they were at uni together.
And I thought there's a story, I don't know if it's a myth, that Kate's parents sent her to that college on purpose because they knew Prince William was there.
I believe that's a myth.
Yeah, well, we just put it out there.
Yeah, just that's what this podcast is going to be a lot of, just putting it out there. Unsubstantiated, probably untrue.
Yeah.
But just so you know. That earned Kate Middleton the name Weighty Katie
Weighty Katie.
Weighty Katie.
Weighty Katie.
because everyone thought she was just waiting around. It's not like she went to university, worked at her parents' party company, then became an accessories buyer at a British clothing chain. She was sitting there twiddling her thumb.
Imagine hiring a clown costume as Kate Middleton.
I know.
Is that the kind of party supply company?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, her parents' party supply. Party supply.
I wonder if that's still going.
Yeah.
I used to work at a party supply hire place.
But you washed the...
I washed the dishes.
So Kate and William even broke up a couple of times throughout their 20s, which, Jesse, you would know, unheard of for a relationship to end and get back together. The press pretended that their issue was just that they were genuinely concerned for Kate. She wasn't going to get proposed to. And they were doing a bit of touching at William and suggesting make an honest woman out of her.
So that's what the press was saying?
Yes.
Okay.
They just had this undertone.
Because at the
of-
moment, she's a big old slut.
Yeah, she's a big old slut at the moment if she's living with you and you're not married.
Were they living together?
Yes. They shared an apartment.
Oh, my goodness.
Royal correspondent Katie Nichol told Vanity Fair, I know that it was the Christmas of 2009 when Kate's mother Carol was getting quite concerned. Kate was nearing 30. There was still no ring on
Not
her finger.
30.
I'm going to vomit that you could be 30 and not married. Nichol also said, I suppose what none of us knew was that she and William had actually made a secret pact to get married way back in 2007.
Oh, as long as there's a pact. Jesus.
After they got together after their second major breakup. This was a secret pact. And we know that this is a couple who are very good at keeping secrets. So really, Kate had the last laugh because she's got her prince. It's not a secret. It's just that they didn't want to get married at 25. And actually, I checked the rule book. That's absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
There were all these think pieces at the time about how not to be a weighty Katie. So it's like,
What did it say?
ladies, this is what you have to do in order to not be that woman.
Yeah.
So apparently you have to give a man a 6-month deadline for commitment. And if he doesn't meet it, then you go, bye. It's very quick.
So, wait. I meet him,
Mm.
and on date 2, I'm like, 6 months we're married?
I think so.
Or am I
yeah.
just pulling that out of thin air?
No, you're 6 months. 6 months from when you start dating. I think he's meant to propose.
Okay.
But it also did say that one of the reasons that men take a while to propose is because of money. I'm like,
they're saving.
Yeah.
Willy was saving his sweet pennies.
yes.
For the ring.
Mm.
I just love that the tabloids, the only word to describe the state they'd got themselves into was panic.
And a tizzy.
They'd gotten themselves into a tizzy because they were going, why hasn't he proposed? They've been together for such a long time.
Living in sin.
The woman's nearing 30.
What if she fell pregnant?
Oh,
What then?
don't.
Criminal woman.
Claire, they're not having sex, for goodness sake. They've not even been married. But she's getting to 30. 30's over the hill. I mean, she's got no eggs left. Her breasts are down near her toes. Come on.
She's got no prospects.
She's got no prospects. She's just literally
She
sitting
will
there
be
waiting.
a ruined woman.
I'm 27 years old. I've no money and no prospects.
Oh, she's already a ruined woman.
Absolutely devastating.
It's disgusting. But they did get married. What age?
30.
Oh.
30? Around 30.
Imagine that.
For this, I actually don't hold anything against Willy, because it is fine to date someone for a while before getting married, if that is even something you wish to do.
What I like is that we get really angry and we do the Wadey Katie 6 months. 6 months, come on. We want a royal wedding.
Yeah, we do.
We like a royal wedding. We want a parade.
Mm.
We want a fun night where we wear a fun hat. And you're depriving us of that, right? So everyone panicked. But then when it came to Meghan and Harry, too soon.
Oh, far too soon.
Far too soon. Excuse.
Who do you
is
think you
this?
are?
Who is this in the royal family?
Never
in the
seen her
palace?
before.
Never seen her before. Oh, now we're proposing and getting married, having a parade? Absolutely too soon.
We're just getting married to strangers now. Okay, come on. That's not what happened.
And she doesn't know any of the rules. Well, you know who did know the rules? Wadey Katie.
She.
Because while she was waiting, she was reading the pamphlet.
She was. She got the PowerPoint.
She was in the waiting room
Mm.
and someone came and said, while you're here, here's a book.
Here's how you curtsy.
Yeah. She went, great, thanks.
The affair and pegging. So the waiting too long to propose, I don't.
We're just striking that
no.
from the criminal record.
But in 2019, we get some actual controversy. For some reason, there's a weird vibe around even talking about this. Probably because it does seem that it's either partly or entirely made up. But I say it's also fun. So fair game.
Also, this is a courtroom. So we put it
Yeah.
to the room and we decide whether it's a rumor or not. It sounds like we've already decided, but who are we to tell if we don't interrogate the rumor and all the details?
So for that reason, we must share it. It was weird at the time, though, that everyone was like, we can't talk about that Prince William rumour. Anyway, apparently Meghan's a bitch. It's like, wait a second. In April 2019, In Touch reports that William may have had an affair with Rose Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley.
Not the Marchioness of Cholmondeley.
Just for clarity, that is spelled...
That sounds like a dog food brand.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's spelled the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, but it's pronounced Marchioness of Cholmondeley.
Okay.
But when Kate supposedly confronted him about it, he apparently laughed it off, saying there was nothing to it. I need to know, how does anyone know that detail? It's just very, very odd information. It's like it was a private conversation.
George leaked it.
Yeah. Oh my, that's always been my theory. There was no evidence of the cheating. No photos, no texts. And one Daily Mail reporter definitively said it wasn't true, stating that both sides were considering legal action. Interestingly, the previous month, The Sun reported that Kate told William that Rose needed to be phased out as one of the couple's close friends.
Yes, because Rose was friends with Kate, right?
They were like besties, yeah.
Right, and then there was a falling out.
Yeah. A source told The Sun it is well known that Kate and Rose have had a terrible falling out.
Well, there's only one reason for that.
They used to be close, but that is not the case anymore. And my suggestion is they're not close because there's been some cheating. Then in 2022, the gossip account Dumois published the following tip. Importantly, Dumois' disclaimer reads, "This account does not claim any information published is based in fact."
We should actually have that disclaimer in our podcast.
Yeah, that protects us legally, I think. Jessie, could you please read out the tip that they received?
It's like the blind item or
Yeah,
whatever.
this is the
All
blind
right,
item.
royal affair gossip is the subject. Can cancelled listeners email us with that? Just royal affair gossip and then just like write whatever.
Yeah, it can be fiction. We don't care.
I think this is kind of fiction,
Yeah.
but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Message. This is so salacious, I'm almost too shook to share with you.
Come on.
In brackets, but will anyway.
Yes.
Yes. This is good public
Hero
service.
of the people.
This British royal's extramarital affair is an open secret in London and amongst the English aristo set and is the talk of every party and news desk. At a recent media party, I was told the real reason for the affair was the royals' love of pegging, which the wife is far too old-fashioned to engage in. The wife doesn't mind her and, in fact, prefers her husband getting his sexual needs fulfilled elsewhere, as long as things don't become emotional, which was the case with the last woman.
Jessie, just for the listeners, could you please define pegging?
Sure. So pegging is a sexual practice which is between two or more consensual adults.
Yes.
Male, female, whatever. Everyone has a butthole. Not everyone. Some people don't. To them, we say there are other things to do. Anyway, pegging, it is something that heterosexual men can be interested in, that has been considered taboo in the past, that is becoming increasingly talked about. Whenever we write a story on the site about pegging, it goes
nuts.
off. So people are interested.
Yes. For full clarity, it appears to be someone wearing a dildo with a strap-on harness and performing anal sex.
Yep.
Yep. Obviously, this entire thing, the Dumois blind item, could be entirely fabricated. Or it
Entirely
could be
true.
it could be about another royal. But
As
I
I was
know.
reading it, I was going, Charles and Camilla, they've always had a
No,
good time.
no. I've thought about it because Andrew ain't having sex. Everyone goes,
better not be.
No, go away. That's what people say. Get away.
Get away, you predator.
Scoot.
Scoot.
Whereas Charles, he's got cam, and he has offered to be her tampon, and I just feel like they have a very open sex life.
I think if he wanted to be pegged, Cam's up for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Tick.
Yeah.
So who do you think it is?
It's got to be Willy.
Okay.
So, a staff writer for the Times of London tweeted, "Yes, it is an affair. I haven't read the piece, but I know about the affair. Everyone knows about the affair, darling."
That's what I love the use of the everyone knows.
Everyone knows. It's an open secret. Well, I didn't know, but now I do.
And that's the thing about journalists. Is they're just gossips with a salary.
Yes.
They like to know information before everyone else. That's why they went into journalism. But a lot of the time it's just about gossiping, which is, again, God's work.
It is. Few thoughts. After reading Prince Harry's book and just absorbing a lot of royal content.
Pegging didn't come up.
Well, there was a bit of a hint, but hold on.
Okay.
I lean towards the, let's say, moral inclination, where there's smoke, there's fire. Nothing seems to be entirely made up.
If you're having a conversation with someone and it's about the news and people are asking you to have an opinion on something, where there's smoke, there's fire is a really easy one to just whip out. I've done it all
And
the
you just
time.
leave that
And you
bomb.
just leave it there and then you
You're
just
like,
walk away.
I'm not saying it's true, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying something is true. But I will say, if something was entirely made up, this would be it. Because there is no evidence.
So is it? Do you think it's true or not?
I think where there's smoke, there's fire. Also,
Do you even know what that means?
if this
Where's the rest of the smoke? Because I could have written that. I might have written that.
Yeah, okay, sorry. The rest of the smoke is the falling out with Rose,
Yes.
photos of them hanging out with Rose that confirm
That's just
that
them
they're
hanging-
friends.
All right. Oh, yeah.
And there's like 3 different bursts of rumour. There's cheating, there's falling out with Rose, there's Prince of Pegging. There's the three
Yeah.
elements combined.
So what happened in the book with the pegging?
Okay. If this story is true, it would explain what appeared to be an orchestrated campaign against Meghan and Harry. The timing lines up.
Ah, yes, I've heard this. Yeah.
Perhaps the idea was to distract from the William story with gossip about Meghan, and that would also explain Harry's anger towards his brother. This was hinted at in Harry's book, that William engaged in the same behaviour as his father had by leaking against Harry to protect himself.
Interesting.
So,
But then I've also heard it said that these rumours could have been to detract from something Charles did.
actually, very true. I've also had that.
Hmm.
So I feel like, okay. Charles be leaking against William to distract from his shit. William be leaking against Harry.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question. If Charles is sitting there going, I got to leak against Willy in order to protect myself, what do we think about the Prince of Pegging? Is there some respect there? It's creativity
Great
involved
story, Charles.
in that level of
Virality.
yeah. like real specific.
Yeah. People want to talk about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, do we have no limits? Do we have no standards? Nah.
No, that's the story. Jesse, moving on to being a mean brother. Over the last couple of years, and particularly in the last few months, Harry has wanted to tell us that William was sometimes a not very nice brother, which, if true, actually is a crime. Harry writes in Spare that William effectively ignored him when he started school at Eton and instructed Harry to pretend they didn't know each other. I think this is funny because it's like you're some of the most famous brothers in the world. Everyone
knows you know each other. So actually more embarrassing for William.
Yeah, to be like, who's that guy? And
It's
it's like,
your brother.
you're on the front page of the paper today
Yeah.
and that's your little brother. His name's Harold.
He's a prince too.
Then in 2009, Harry and William lived together for the first time since school, which Harry found really fun. He loved being with Big Willy. But in a joint interview, Willy threw Harold under the bus and described him as a slob and said that he snored. Harry writes in his book, I turned and gave him a look. Was he joking? I cleaned up after myself and I didn't snore.
Besides, something a slob says.
Our rooms were separated by thick walls, so even if I did snore, there was no way he heard. Harold, mate, this is just a sibling thing you got to accept. We make up shit about each other for laughs. That's what having a sibling is for.
No, you're a slob, mate. I'd say that about you, though.
Yeah.
Not the snoring, although that might be true as well, but you're...
Oh, no, the other night we had a fight, so we were sleeping in the same bed. We were staying at a hotel, and I nudged you all night because you were snoring. And we had a fight
I wasn't
in the morning.
asleep. I wasn't asleep. How could I have been snoring?
I said, bitch, you were fucking keeping the whole room awake.
And then you kept bringing it up in front of people. I was like, I don't snore. Like, there are two truths, you know? But with the sob thing, I mean, yeah, it sounds like he was.
In 2013, William and Kate moved into Kensington Palace and Harry moved into Nottingham Cottage, which meant that they were living really close by. Harry writes in Spare that he was excited because he thought he'd be popping in all the time, but William and Kate didn't invite him over. He writes they were half a football pitch away, just beyond a stone courtyard, so close that I could see their nanny pass by all the time with the pram, and I could hear their elaborate renovations. I assumed they'd have me over any minute now, any day, but day after day it didn't happen. The sassiness in the term elaborate renovations, for one, but also they had a newborn.
Did they have 3 kids by then?
They had a George.
Yeah, I don't know. Newborn bubble. Like, I reckon cut them some slack.
Yeah, I think leave him alone. Also, it's your brother. You can just turn up if you want to say hi. But probably turn up with, like, a dish. Like, not just you, Harry.
And help out. But if you're going to come over, make a mess and snore, then they're like, our son's asleep.
You need to stay in your cottage.
Stay in your cottage, you're keeping everyone awake.
Harry claims that when he was about to ask the Queen for permission to propose to Meghan, William warned him not to do it. He said it was all going too fast, and apparently he had been discouraging about Harry even dating Meghan. Willy flagged a host of difficulties that might come with dating an American actress. And while this is problematic and a little bit annoying, he did turn out to be right with the whole you're going too fast. Because Meghan really did have no idea what she was in for with the royal family.
Yeah.
And as we established in our Harry episode, she was completely unprepared.
She was out of her depth.
Willy was just saying, I made the PowerPoint for Kate. It took 8 years to present it.
Exactly.
It's 8 years of
PowerPoint.
full-time hours. And Meghan doesn't know. She hasn't watched
the deck?
No, she hasn't
Where's
seen
the deck
it yet.
But you can use my speaker notes if you want, but you got to sit her down and you got to take her through the etiquette, the history, the things we can say to grandma, the things we can't, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Willy had a point. Ahead of the wedding, Willy was very annoyed that Harry was allowed to keep his beard when Willy wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ordered Harry to shave. Harry ignored it. But apparently Harry was on edge at his bachelor party because he worried that if he got too drunk and passed out, Willy would hold him down and shave him. Jessie, if you get too drunk and pass out, is it fair game to shave you?
You can't just be shaving someone. But was he planning on getting so drunk he passed
I
out?
know.
You're a prince.
I was like, you're a grown man.
He's in his mid-30s by then.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to say William was going to take photos and like them. And I was like, oh, well, that's a breach of trust. And then when he said shave him, I was like, oh, when you've passed out, it's just game on.
You're going to get a dick drawn on your face and someone's going to shave something.
How is one to draw a dick on the cheek if you've got a beard?
That's a great question.
I might shave a dick into his chin.
And then it's like, you got to shave the whole thing. Granny's not going to like
Granny's
that.
not going to like a dick walking down the aisle.
But the culmination of Willy being a mean brother is, of course, the time he attacked Harry to the point where he fell and hurt his back on a dog bowl.
Yeah, on a dog bowl.
We've all heard the story. William was about 37 when he did that. And again, according to my rule book, that is too old to be hitting your sibling.
Hard.
Yeah, no, too much. So, yeah, he was a bit of a mean brother. Which brings us to Willy being a cranky boy.
It's in the genes.
It is. He's got it from his father. Bloody thing. Harry does talk about Willy's temper quite a lot, and there are plenty of royal sources that say he is a cranky boy. In the Harry and Meghan Netflix doco, Harry said he described that Sandringham summit when they were trying to work out what Harry and Meghan's roles looked like in the royal family. And he said,
it was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me and my father say things that just simply weren't true, and my grandmother, quietly sit there and sort of take it all in.
So he's saying that Willy was doing some yelling.
It was heated. It was a very heated exchange, it sounds like. Yet still, I came away from that documentary and even the snippets that I've read from the book. I don't think William seems like a bad guy. I mean, he takes himself a little seriously. But I don't know, he's a future king of England. Like, I don't know. Is there any other evidence of him actually being a cranky boy?
Well, royal biographer Robert Jobson, who wrote a book specifically about William, claims that William's fiery temper can blow up at any time, usually when he's frustrated or when it comes to issues regarding his family. Even senior members of his circle will check which way the wind is blowing before becoming too self-assured in his presence or raising problematic issues that might be better addressed at another time. Other insiders confide that William can be an emotional character who is, on occasion, difficult to handle.
I reckon he sounds like he's got a short fuse, and that's from Daddy. But I don't think that Harry seems like he's got a temper because of his LA therapy.
It can be really bumpy. It's called inner work for a reason. The outer work becomes so much easier once you get to grips with the inner work, and then everything starts to fall into place.
Oh, I reckon maybe Harry's more emotional. Like he's maybe mood swingy.
Yeah, like has a cry. I think William probably needs a cry.
Yeah, I think he needs I think that's emotional repression.
When we need a cry and we just start yelling and then we cry when we're yelling. That's that.
That's what I'm picturing. But my favourite part of all of this is that royal reporter Tina Brown writes in the Palace Papers that behind closed doors, a toddler Prince William was a nightmare. Apparently Diana herself called her son a holy terror, and he was considered an entitled little monster in his preschool. Brown writes, as a toddler, William had been a cause of concern to the Queen when he showed signs of being a brat. She complained to her husband that their grandson was out of control and needed a stricter nanny. She was not amused that he loved to say, "When I'm king, I am going to make a new rule that." I think that's hilarious.
I think that's very sweet.
And if George isn't doing that,
that's very cute.
George better be going to school and
I will pillage your lunchbox. Give me an LCM and a roll-up. Good point, George. Good use of power.
He better be doing that. Apparently, by the time Willy was 4, he had the unattractive habit of yapping at his nanny. "No one tells me what to do. When I'm king, I will have you punished."
I like it. I think it's endearing.
I think it was this tiny little man being like, "I'm going to be king." And it's like, oh, sweet.
You're 4. I can just pick you up and put you in a cot.
I wonder if Charles did the same thing when he was little, in which case it would be funny because it's like, you're not going to be king till you are 70.
Yeah. You're going to punish the nanny now?
Another royal author, Robert Lacey, claims that Cam, who by the way is Camilla, we've just shortened her name to Cam, was surprised to witness William's ranting and raving when she married Charles.
Oh, shut up, Camilla.
Yeah, like,
who are you?
Stop leaking. Lacey writes, William was letting rip with no apparent inhibition. The rows had been earth-shattering by Camilla's account, with William doing the shouting and Charles submitting meekly. wasn't. He's very bloody thing.
He's bloody. They're bloody thinging at each other.
Yeah.
He learned it all from his dad.
They'd both be cranky old men snapping at each other, and Camilla didn't like it because she went, "That's my husband. That's the king. Don't be like that to him."
Well, you broke up his mum's marriage.
Sorry if he's cranky in your presence, Cam. Apparently, Cam also told her friends, the boy's got a temper. You know, you can't say that if you're not his mum.
Nah.
Not here for it. Jessie, it's time for charges and sentences. Jessie, my charge. Unsurprisingly, being a cranky boy.
Yeah.
He's a cranky boy. I do think that there is enough evidence, genetically, socially, he's cranky.
Yep.
I think we can all agree that one of the most frustrating things about Willy is that we don't know
Hear
enough and hear enough.
Yes.
And we're all looking around. I'm going.
I need more bloody thing pen moments from him.
But I also just need more content. So,
not enough content.
yeah. So he could write, we talked in the Harry episode about heir, how he should write heir.
A rebuttal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Willy should do that. I just think he needs to be more open and really, at the moment, he's rising above. This podcast isn't about rising above. It is about
Falling
getting
below.
in the mud and slinging.
Yeah, he's not getting in the weeds enough.
No.
That's upsetting me. That's actually very similar to the sentence I had.
So that's upsetting me.
Yeah.
And so what I want him to do, because he's a cranky boy and we've got a problem to solve, he needs to do anger management, but only via reality television with the family. The whole family.
Okay, I was going to say with Dr. Phil, but did you see that he retired?
Oh, I think he'd come back for this.
You think?
Yes, definitely. And I think that on the show, he can also confront Harry because apparently William is fuming about everything that's happened, about the book. Apparently the coronation's been like rewritten to not include Harry. Like William is so angry. And
Look,
I
I appreciate the pettiness, but what we need to see is you working out. Like we need to see more BTS.
I guess it's like kind of like maths, except it's anger management.
Okay.
And so you've got like psychologists who are helping people work
So
through
you've got
it.
like John, Mel, probably don't need the sexologist, although with the pegging maybe he would help
Maybe.
Alessandra.
Yeah. But I think the thing they need to establish is you're a cranky boy, you're angry, and it's actually going to give you an ulcer. You're not going to be well. They need to
you're going to hurt your back.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, you know, you hold anger, different parts of your body, you're going to get a sore back like your dad.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
why do you think that Charles does his weird headstands to help his back?
Because he's been grumpy, he holds all this energy in his lower back.
And then you got your ballies falling out of your boxes.
Yeah.
And it's
in front
unpleasant.
of your sons.
It's just not nice. So I think a reality show, anger management, cast includes...
Anger management. What's their last name? Like anger management with the Windsors? Like, is that
Yeah.
kind of the vibe?
Yeah. Wales. Because he's the Prince of Wales now.
Anger management with the Waleses.
Yeah. And I reckon it's the whole family. I
Yep.
reckon it's William, Kate, but then like Cam and Charles. Andrew. Ooh, there's going to be some weird stuff there.
Yeah, everyone's mad.
Fergie.
That'll be actually really uniting because I think he's a common enemy. So I think that would really bring everyone together.
And I think you go through your family history of like, where do you think your anger comes from? And it's like, so much inbreeding as a start.
Yeah.
As a start. And then Harry and Meghan, 3/4 of the way through the season, we do get...
re-emerge.
Yeah. I think it's on an island. I think it's like Love Island, but anger management island.
But maths, but with the maths expert.
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing is that, you know how in the last season of Married at First Sight, I can't remember their names. There was the Brazilian woman and also
Carolina,
and then she came back with Daniel.
Yeah.
And then they walked in holding hands and everyone was really angry. Meghan and Harry.
Yeah,
that's how I'm
their
saying it.
moment.
It's mid-dinner party and they walk in and Willy's like,
Holy what on
way!
earth? You have got to be...
Are you kidding?
I think I just wet my pants. No, this is a joke.
What the is this?
This is a joke.
I object. I didn't want them to be here. I was promised they wouldn't be here.
And the producer's like, there ain't any boats to get you home, so deal with it on camera. Maybe a little bit of Survivor.
If anyone has a hidden immunity idol, they'd like to play it, now will be the time to do so. Harry, the tribe has spoken.
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's what should happen.
Okay, cool. My charge relatedly is I agree with you, cranky boy, but I also wanted to put out their bloody thing. And
Okay.
that is that his very bloody thing, and he's got that from Dad.
He's
Right?
been a cranky old man since he was a toddler.
Yes, we've established that. Cute when you're 3, not cute when you're 40. Sentence. I didn't get to the reality TV thing.
Okay.
But what I decided was that I need an angry statement regarding the pegging. So when that came out and we had Daily Mail, we had all these articles come out, I need a very grumpy Prince William to address that seriously with a crown on his head.
And address the real details of the rumour. Because every now and then,
I've been accused of bending over and having a lady with a strap-on penis entering my rectum.
penetrate my anus.
And when my anus is penetrated, it is my business only. And Kate, who you've called Waiter Katie, she has no problem at all. She loves it. It's her kink. It is our kink. It is an open marriage. With pegging from my good friend Rose.
Sign, Willy.
That's what I need.
Yeah, we do need clarity. Because otherwise rumours just grow, don't they? Don't they? Add some fuel to the fire.
Exactly. And as they say, and it appears to be a new courtroom rule, when there's smoke, there's fire. And you've got to come out and address the smoke, Willy.
Mm-hmm.
Or else
we'll make it up.
That's done it once, we'll do it again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is all we have.
Is it unfortunate?
For legal reasons, that is all we have time for on today's episode of Cancelled. For all the evidence that we have mentioned, what evidence?
Maybe we show like a wiki how of pegging.
Yeah. And we will share the Dumois, the blind item.
Yeah.
That's important.
Great. There won't be a lot of receipts, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah. And please share your Lazy Girl stories. We're still collecting them. They are bringing us so much joy. We're going to read them out on the show. They're our favourite thing. You can win a Lazy Girl sticker.
Yeah, so exciting.
Which is great because we're lazy girls. We're not going to make anything better than that.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl. What do you think we're made of?
We're going to get you a trophy?
No. We got a sticker that we didn't make. Our producer did. So,
like, I haven't wanted to ask since the beginning. I haven't wanted to ask who posts it. Because it ain't going to be me. We're going to need
that's going to be some assigning by the producer because I can't be bothered assigning. And they're going to have to liaise in terms of the address.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't ask a lazy girl to send her address. If you have any suggestions for people you would like to see cancelled or any charges or sentences you think we need in addition, you can call us on the pod phone on 02 8999 9386 or email us at podcast@mamamia.com.au.
If you love what we do here at Cancelled, please leave us a review. It's really nice.
That's the problem with having lazy girls as your core demo.
Yeah, they're like, meh.
Like, do you have to log in? I don't think you have to log in. I think you can just do it and give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a username or anything.
You just got to click a button.
Yeah, just click a button.
The executive producer of Cancelled is Talissa Bazaz with audio editing by Thom, and we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.